life, guys. I like this one.
Hey, thanks for joining us for SCREAMCAST Podcast Episode 9. As you can see, we are in a secret remote location. We are not at VPN. VPN is going through a transitional move right now, and so bear with us as we go through that transitional move as well.
Yes, guys, bear with us. Thank you.
Thank you again to Anthony and Austin at VPN. We really appreciate you guys helping us all the time with our audio. We're always messing up our audio, so just shout out to you guys. And hopefully, Anthony, we can link him during the bay, like when I touch base in the bay, and just maybe work on a little screencast, something out there. But shout out, y'all.
Hey, guys.
But thanks to...
That's right, VPN Radio just joined. I see y'all.
Thanks, y'all. But thank you to all the actual humans reaching out to Screamline hotline with pure intentions and trusting and confiding in the hotline. I hope you're all just having a better week than last week. And I am trying to incorporate more of the voicemails that you guys leave into the podcast, but I feel like the big thing is confidentiality. So a lot of people are not comfortable with sharing their stories like that yet until they're, fully healed over whatever they're going through. So we're just kind of working through that and updating that, but it's like a beautiful thing to go through, just like listening to all your guys' really pure, honest issues that you're
your emotions are always so raw, and
it's wild.
It hits us. We definitely feel like the intensity, and it's we're not robots over here. We're live human beings just like you guys, and really appreciate all the input, like anything yelling. We appreciate the yells, we appreciate the phone calls, voicemails, text messages, and DMs. We notice all of you.
Dude, it has me speechless a lot of the time, just listening to what you guys go through, and it's just really amazing to be a part of that process of, the healing process. And I feel like, spreading knowledge to every human that you meet through experience is something really important for our whole human race. So if you have a question, call us, text us, DM us at 323-413-YELL, aka 323-413-9355, and it's pinned here in the post if you're joining us from Instagram Live. We're still gonna upload our posts to our SoundCloud and our YouTube, so check out for that after the show too.
Always, guys, you can keep updated with us. We have our social medias. Don't ever forget, follow us, hit us up, DM us.
Any way you know how. And if you're a studio reaching out, wanna find host a podcast, hit us up in any way you know how to contact us. And thanks for all the supportive comments too. Love ya.
Thank you, guys.
Today we're gonna be focusing on anger. It can lead up to so many more emotions like jealousy, hate.
Very true. Yeah, it's sometimes our anger is really complex, and it's more than just anger or madness. So
to where it can get out of hand, to where it can go to your head, to your body. Your mind and body have such a really strong connection. So I feel like when you have like a lot of things like bunched in your mind, you're just like, oh, it's gonna get to your body.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. You feel it in your body, like the anger. Especially, I feel like anger, since it's so intense. Like you can feel, like people who say they see red. I can agree with that. I'll start seeing red, like,
or blackout.
Yeah, like you kind of just zone out, like you're not even there anymore because you're feeling this emotion of anger so intensely. So.
It's wild. And what is it? Rachel says she wants to be a special guest again, and I'm down.
Yes, down to yes. Thanks.
Tippy Toe Shape says, I want to complain. The number is down there. Call in or text.
It's pinned, guys. It's
Why
pinned.
does everyone hate our president? Tippy Toe Shape says, why does everyone hate our president? His personality, I think. It's the personality. I mean, he's doing a lot of good things economically, but it's the whole racism thing.
That's a very key thing. People don't like outwardly racists because, I mean, it's just like, oh, saying you hate dogs, people are gonna be like, whoa, why do you hate dogs, instead of you just yourself personally hating dogs and not, expressing that outwardly. So I think that's kind of has to do with it too.
It's scary, like having someone in complete authority of your well-being being that.
This is the leader of the free world, guys. We're like the most major power in the world, and I mean, do you see that toupee? Like, no.
No on the toupee. Exit.
We don't like the toupee Trump.
It is also Trans Day of Remembrance, which is really cool too. Just to recognize and remember all the trans angels' lives we've lost over the years due to like violence, hate, bullying, and so forth. I wanted to take a moment of silence today so we can all reflect and remember the hate does really nothing in this world. So you can join us from home too in this moment of silence, starting in right
now.
Okay. Thank you guys for joining us in that moment of silence for, all the trans, LGBT, anybody's lives who were lost over like bullying or hate. It's crazy. Like, we couldn't even make a list of it if we wanted to.
I think that subject of transphobia is really important because it's true. I feel like people kind of just take it as, oh, like, whatever, like they don't think about it. They think maybe someone's just crazy that they think that way. But in reality, people are getting murdered and tortured and, all this crazy stuff. Like the murder rate of trans people is really high. And if you ever want to find out, Google will give you the stats. But it's every day there's a trans life lost.
It's wild. Like, it has me speechless as well too. Just like all the people who are like going through it, or even like now presently, you think that bullying is not present. It's everywhere. Even if you didn't experience it yourself at your high school, it's still going on, just like racism.
Yeah, so people may think that bullying is only just like superficial, but it definitely goes deeper than that.
Hell yeah. It's like when I know this doesn't apply to everything, but like, how when people say, oh, a dog is just like their owner type thing?
Yeah, I get you. So right now we are listening to Sorry by Nimano.
I also wanted to bring up some of my recent experiences actually with anger and anger management. So
please share.
So I'm like known for like just hating doctors, not wanting to go to my therapist or any therapist, see any doctor or whatever, but I recently started going, so I'm kind of just talking to this woman. She's kind of cool. She makes me want to go to therapy too. She's super sweet. She told me how she was herself, she went through domestic abuse when she was like 25, and it was like a really bad story for her, but it kind of just inspired me to start going to therapy. So she's an older woman right now, and at our last session we were talking about things, and somehow Wi-Fi came up, and she didn't understand the concept of Wi-Fi because she was just in a different generation.
Right.
So I had to explain to her why a certain situation happened in my past with like involving the police and a cell phone, and I was telling her it's not a connected phone, it's just a Wi-Fi phone, and she's like, what do you mean, can't you just call your AT&T service to cancel it? And I'm like, no, it's Wi-Fi, you see? Like, it's a signal. And we went through that for like 10 minutes, and I ended up screaming at her. I was just like, not in ill intention, but I was
frustration.
I was frustrated, and I was getting annoyed. So I was getting really annoyed with her, even though she's just like, she's a good spirit, she's trying to help me. So I start yelling at her, and she refers me to anger management. So I end the session, she kind of just leaves. I could tell that she was kind of like angry or, you know, uncomfortable. Yeah, uncomfortable. And when I get in my car, I go home, I look at the referral, and she referred me to an Asian American anger management. And I'm like, is this a fucking test? I'm like, yo, I'm not sure if like anyone else has experiences with anger management, but were you in a regular anger management, or were you in a race-specified anger management? Because I haven't went yet, because I'm kind of uncomfortable with that, actually.
I've never heard of that, actually, like race-specific, like Asian American anger management. Maybe it's different, you know, maybe it's something that does affect like races, you know, like what about if there's African American anger management, or like me, Hispanic American anger management? I'm not sure. I've done therapy myself, but I have not been referred to like anger management, so I wouldn't know. But I agree, like I've never heard of something like that, so pretty interesting. But
yeah, it makes me think, am I gonna have less anger with regular anger management or more anger?
That's a good question,
because that kind of got me angry. There's
like just the fact that she involved race. I get you.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
And I'm just like,
maybe it's better like results if people, you know, like I think that's something you should look up, which is like difference between like people that take regular anger management and people that take like anger management specified for their race. Maybe it's different. I think maybe it's a thing like cultural wise, because like just from my own experience, I feel like people from Hispanic cultures deal with anger a little bit differently maybe than I think that's just a general, like people from different races probably do deal with anger differently, so maybe that's it.
No, that makes sense. Another thing she told me too was like, when I go, I should look for somebody kind of like my father or my mom's age, and to talk to within the group. So now that you put that together, I'm kind of thinking maybe she meant like as in like a father or mother figure type deal.
Could be.
That's why she sent me there.
I think that's a good like
explanation,
suggestion, because maybe the way she analyzed you was that your like anger stems from your family and like growing up, so maybe that's why she suggested that you find someone that's like a motherly or fatherly figure for you to like express your anger positively too.
That makes a lot of sense for me now talking about it, because like I was just sitting alone and I was getting, to be honest, I was making me just angry thinking about it. I was like, oh my god.
See, that's another thing, sometimes it does help to like discuss your anger with words and not with like yelling and different stuff, and you know, like those negative kind of expressions, but it does help a lot to talk
definitely. Oh my god, that really helped me right now.
Maybe
I'm not as angry now.
Maybe not just being alone with your own angry thoughts is also like really important. I really like, if you're feeling angry and you're by yourself, like there's a good chance that you're just gonna kind of amp yourself up and be more angry.
Very true.
I've personally experienced that, so yeah.
Maybe it's not you shouldn't just like isolate yourself when you're angry. You need to like kind of express it, talk out to your friends. And if you don't have friends, some people don't have friends, I mean, that's not even a bad thing at all. You could always like text, DM, like there are other hotlines too. I know not all the time I could pick up the phone or answer the text, but there are thousands of specified hotlines that you could hit up as well too. We're just here kind of like starting a Scream event line.
Yeah, event line. Definitely there's the suicide help hotline. There's also depression hotline and LGBTQ plus hotlines. Everything's out there, like with professionals. Me and Selena, you know, we're not experts or anything like that, so please don't take our word over a doctor's or a nurse, someone in the profession. But we are here, you know, to try to help and give you our perspective as well, and we'll definitely listen and, you know, give you our best advice that we can offer. Maybe not even advice, sometimes just a ear to listen.
Yeah, an ear to listen, someone to actually respond to you. Also, PSA, Screamline is looking for someone who's like a psych major or someone who's like a social services major who wants something really cool on their resume, who wants to help with the hotline, answering texts and phone calls. It's just going to help lighten the load, and it's going to give another perspective, a little more professional perspective on all the advice we give too, through all the people who text and call in. So if you know anybody, please refer them and contact us any way you know how.
Thank you. Yes, please. We want knowledgeable people as well.
Yes. I mean, we're fun too, but we would love we would love someone else on the team who could like professionally guide us as well as work with us too. So we're looking for that.
Definitely. All right, guys. So right here we are listening to Aeroplane by We. I saw it. When you posted.
Also, we had posted a photo. It was a repost from somebody. I'm so sorry, I don't know who actually made it, but it was a post that was alternatives for self-harm. And we kind of got a big response on that, which is pretty cool too. And I feel like it's just a good thing too if other people want to share their own alternatives to self-harm, because I know a lot of people are going through it currently. Even though some people might be embarrassed to talk about it, it's always nice to like give advice too. And if you message us or email us any type of way, it's going to be private or anonymous if you'd like to. Always anonymous unless you are comfortable with sharing your identity. Like I said too, like I used to burn, like trigger warning on self-harm. Trigger warning. Forgot about those.
Very important.
For alternatives for self-harm, one of the things that I said too was I used to be honest, burn myself a lot and have a problem with that, but I kind of transferred that over to like scratching myself until I bleed, and then I just kind of got over that and started tattooing myself. So I've been covering up my scars over the years, and it's been very, very therapeutic for me too.
Nice. I myself haven't struggled with self-harm, but one of my things to me is the aggression. It really, sometimes I don't even know how to like express my aggression, so I'll clap my fists and stomp my feet really hard and just kind of like flex all my internals and just kind of like let that, like, you know, like when you kind of stiffen up your muscles.
Oh, you're just like, oh, like a bear.
Yeah. That's what I do, but physically hurting myself, I really haven't struggled with. So, I mean,
do you break things?
I have broken stuff before, and that's like not good. we shouldn't do that. That's not. You could harm other people and harm yourself too with, you know, breaking objects. So please be careful with that, guys.
Very true.
And I think one of the things you have to think about is the energy you put out, whether you're putting it into harming yourself or whether you're doing it positively, is really important. Just think about it. It never goes away, because you know what, that energy is going to stay with you, and especially if you have a scar on yourself, that's something that you're going to see and maybe not be so proud of. So I think that's also a thought to keep in mind.
That definitely is a thought. To be honest, my whole hand was like fucked up, and I've been just tattooing it, and it's like I'd rather explain a tattoo than a scar. So it's something also to very much think about.
Something else is that your body is a temple. Maybe, you know, not religiously, but you should definitely care for yourself.
Because what do they say? If you don't have your health, you have no wealth. Because your health really is driving you to do all these amazing things in your life.
I 100% agree. Very true.
Someone also said, if there's a pile of paper you realize is just sitting there collecting dust, that one may thought it was important in the past. I like recycling paper up before, or I like ripping paper up before I recycle it. Which is beautiful too, oh my gosh. Like, yeah. I catch myself doing that sometimes too, just like ripping things to, you know, calm my nerves.
Yeah, I think it's definitely that sensation of you're destroying something and, you know, you're not making such a big, like thing about it. You know, it's just, yeah, exactly. It's a simple act, but it really does help.
What is it, I think a couple weeks ago, I was really angry, and I kind of reached out to my secret group chat of girls. If you want to join it, hit me up. But my secret group chat cult of girls on Instagram, and I told them my problem, and one of my friends, Nancy, said to take a cold shower because it makes you focus on something else. What else did she say too? I don't. But I was like,
I think it literally cools you down, you know, because definitely I agree. Like when you're feeling kind of hot and upset, your body temperature rises, your blood pressure rises, so that cold shock of water definitely like calms you down.
And that's something that I didn't know too. So that's something that I kind of benefited from discussing and, you know, telling people about why I'm angry, discussing my emotions with my friends, you know?
Yeah. So, Zobi Boz asks how to deal with stress/anger after bottling up for a hella long time. So, I'm gonna give you my best advice because I have put my stress on the sidelines, and you know what? You burn yourself out. That's the end reaction, is that you'll burn yourself up or explode or snap, and that's not something you really want to do. My best bet, my absolute best advice, cry. Watch yourself, like, watch a sad video, watch a sad movie, cry it out, and let all your hot tears out. Something that my family therapist actually mentioned to me is that, you know, some people don't cry angry tears, some people don't cry sad tears, but everybody cries toxic tears. So if you've been doing something toxic to yourself, like bottling your emotions, your stress and anger, cry it out. Let those hot tears run down your face, and even if you can't cry anymore, just kind of like sit there and accept your emotions, because a lot of the times is what you're doing when you bottle up your emotions is you're not accepting them, you're not allowing yourself to feel those emotions. And always remember that it's okay to feel those emotions. Emotions are temporary, but your personality and how you express your love is forever.
That's true. That's something that I needed to hear too, Heather. Like, I don't know how to cry, to be honest. Well, I could cry, but like for dumb things, but I can't cry for myself or like anything like that.
It's hard. I
don't know how.
Before, for a long time, I didn't know how to cry, and like I would be really emotional and I would want to cry, but I didn't know how to let it out. Sometimes it comes out in the little things. Like, I remember I would see a sad video or like a really heartfelt, like nice, warm video, and it kind of bring a tear to my eye, and you just let it happen. Don't hold yourself back, because that's what you're doing. You're holding yourself back. You're not allowing yourself to be real and authentic with yourself. So I think that's really important.
I'm gonna try to have a nice cry tonight, Heather.
It helps. I'm serious. You feel so much better after. It's like crazy how much better you feel.
One thing that I liked on the alternatives for self-harmless, which also kind of helps you just in a lot of different situations, is feeling your pulse to feel that you're alive. And that's something that they tell you when you have anxiety too. You kind of just look at the colors of the walls and tell yourself where you're at, how many walls, how many colors, how many windows, and check your breathing, your breaths, your heartbeat, your pulse in your wrist, your pulse right here, if you like in your jugular, yes?
Yeah.
Right there.
what is it called? Your
neck.
carotid artery. There you go. Really important. You get a lot of blood through there. That's actually specifically, I know the name because once again my therapist mentioned this to me. It's called grounding yourself when you have anxiety. You
Exactly.
take a physical count. You say, okay, you relax your whole body, and you feel like yourself actually alive, because that's what it is. And it's called being mindful. You have to really be aware in the moment, because when you're angry or stressed out or you have anxiety, you are really just like focused on your emotions and not realizing that, hey, you're a human being, you're alive, you can see, and even if you can't see, but you can still visualize. And I think that's really important to remember. Don't ever forget.
That's true. And also I feel like the anger too, and like the emotions, whatever emotion you may be feeling right now too, is kind of making you feel more alive. Like this is you're having real emotions, real thoughts that you need to really get out or really express, or why are you angry? Get to the root of your problem and see what's causing this. And that's something that I need to work on myself, is just like,
it's okay. It's okay to feel upset. It's okay to feel any of your emotions, because we're human and that's what we do. We feel things.
Stop blocking them out. Telling myself to.
So guys, right now we're listening to Pirate Jet by the Gorillaz.
Oh. We asked a question on our Instagram story, which we always do. We always discuss little things on our Instagram story. So if you're joining us from another source, always go to our Instagram live and join us on Instagram, all that good stuff.
Yes, please don't be afraid to keep up with us. We're here to help.
Don't be scared. But we asked the question, do you cry or do you get angry? And we got a lot of mixed reviews. On our Screamline account, 100% of you said angry. And I asked on my personal account, and 52% said cry, and 48% said angry. So that's cool. A lot of people are, healthily crying.
That's good. No, I agree. I'm one of those people. I will get angry. I'll get so angry, and I don't know what to do with myself. And then eventually, I'll cry, and but it's usually anger first. That's just me personally.
I haven't gotten to the point where I want to angry cry yet. I've been angry like plotting, which is really bad. I need to stop that and angry cry.
It depends. I think both are good depending on how you do it, right? Because angry crying can feel really bad at the moment.
Yeah.
And especially, like you said, what you do after with your emotions once you've expressed them. Do you accept them and, keep on moving and realize you're going to feel different things? Or do you hold on to that anger after you have already cried? Something that I think, like you said, angry plotting can be a good thing, guys. Don't quote me on this, but sometimes that anger pushes you to do positive in your life. It pushes you, motivates you, hey, I'm angry about this, I'm going to change what I'm doing. And I think that's what I've come to terms with myself. And what I've only just realized, guys, I'm not perfect, but I've just realized that using your anger to push yourself to do better is good. It's not a bad thing. So I think just the way you do it. Don't plot like murders or anything.
Okay.
So, we're not.
Retraction. I'm not angry plotting. I'm angry learning, just like you said.
Angry learning. I like learning. That. So, brand new term.
Somebody says, do you cry or do you get angry? Someone says, one always brings out the other, which I 100% agree. Yeah, of course, I feel like even in the beginning of this episode, I was saying that anger can bring out so many different emotions, like jealousy, lust, anger, all this bad stuff, and it's just like it all stems from one place. So you kind of gotta get to the root of your anger before you move on with another emotion.
Very true. Very, very super important, guys. Understand why you're upset. If you're just kind of like just angry and just that's all you're seeing, you're not gonna get anywhere. You're not gonna change how you feel or how you react to your anger.
Yeah, and you're not angry for no reason.
No, if you're angry for no reason, then I'm sorry, honey, you gotta get it together. But just think about it, because sometimes you feel like you're angry about one thing, and in reality, it's like a whole nother thing, and you're just bringing other attributes into your anger, and basically your anger's consuming you. So I think, just like Selena said, think about what you're angry about.
And nobody is angry over nothing. Just remember that. If someone has like a bad attitude or something, there's something like probably going through their life, and just give everyone the benefit of the doubt before you judge.
Be a little bit more understanding. So our other responses to the question, do you cry or do you get angry? We had one person say both nowadays, which I think is interesting.
Healthy. Or it could not be healthy if they're doing too much of it.
It depends. Like you said, give people the benefit of the doubt, but it says nowadays, so I'm assuming that they only did one or the other before nowadays.
That makes sense.
So, I hope you're doing it positively, and I hope you feel better after being angry and crying or crying. We also had another person say both once again, but they also remarked that it's hell. And like I said, sometimes, those sucky feelings like anger and crying, they kind of suck, but everybody feels better once you express that anger, and once you cry it out, I promise you'll feel better.
And I feel like a lot of people hate being told like, oh, just like get your anger out a different way, put in your creativity and stuff. But I feel like people who tell you that have the best intention, and it's like they probably see you in a rut as well. So always listen to the advice that's being told around you. If it's happening more than once from different people, then maybe you should, take a listen to that.
If different people are all saying the same thing, you really gotta rethink your choices, because not everybody, came together and came to one conclusion and is telling you the same thing. Maybe it's just obvious that you need to put on a different perspective into what you're doing.
Yeah, like how people say like, oh, everyone's against me or something like that. It's like, it's probably not. Or like when guys say like, oh, I always get the crazy girls, or the girl says I only get the crazy guys. Probably not.
Are they really crazy? Or is it usually...
Yeah, are they really crazy? Okay, go ahead.
Think about it. And then just one last response. We got a person saying both, but usually cry. And like I said, either or, whether you cry or whether you get angry, just express it positively and don't hurt other people, and definitely don't hurt yourself.
And don't think that like expressing your anger to your loved ones, it's like hurting them or giving them a burden. You need to let them know what's going on in your head before you do something out of character, out of anger, that they're not going to expect. Because I definitely use that on people and have taken out my anger on people, and it's just not healthy, nor do you want that for the relationships that you want to keep in your life. And someone else said both, and I get more mad because I cry instead of screaming, so they think I'm sad, and I'm like, no, I'm just trying not to hit you, which I agree with, which is when I cry, I get angry. I'm like, ah!
I understand that. No, like I said, it's how you put out that energy, and we definitely don't want to put our hands on each other. That's not the way to solve your anger or to solve your conflicts. Domestic violence is not accepted around here, and it's a very common and serious issue. So please, guys, if you have to cry, if you have to yell to stop from putting your hands on other people, that's better than putting your hands on other people. Don't forget.
And breaking objects is better than hitting people, but also, like Heather said, breaking objects, something could fly at you.
Can be dangerous.
A lot of people just said both, that they cry and get angry, and a lot of people say that like they just get angry. So I feel like a lot of people, when you're in that heat of the moment, you're not, like we said before, like getting to the root of your problem. And my therapist actually told me this like 2 weeks ago, I think, which actually made me start wanting to go to therapy and be okay with it and accept it. She told me, she was telling me about her domestic abuse when she was 25 and how she's living a beautiful life right now, married with 3 little girls. And I was just like, wow, that's really cool. And she was telling me, yeah, if one of my little girls breaks her arm and she never shows me and she just lets it heal on its own, she's gonna grow up, it's gonna look fine, but it might still hurt, she's gonna have problems here and there, it's not gonna grow back correctly. And I just really took that to heart, and I really think it's true, because if you're holding something deep inside that you think, you know, you got control of and you don't, and it's affecting your everyday life, it's gonna carry on with you for the rest of your life. Even though that you think that you're just kind of blacking it out right now, it's still there.
I 100% agree, and I think your therapist used a great analogy. And it's true. Sometimes you don't see the broken bones from the outside, but in reality, it's still hurting, and it's not hasn't grown, hasn't healed properly, and it's gonna affect you in the future, whether you realize it or don't. But stuff that you don't accept and don't heal from will always come back, and that's just an unfortunate truth.
Very true. And it's like, you don't always need a therapist. Like we said, you can talk to your friends. If you can't trust your friends, or like, if you can't trust your friends, but like, if you can't confide in your friends, or you think they won't take you seriously or something, call a hotline, call Screamline, call your mom, your uncle, anybody, and just kind of like let them know how you're feeling. Because if you keep that all inside, you're gonna explode. You're gonna build it up until you snap. And I've definitely snapped a bunch of times in my life, and I'm definitely learning from those. It's all life experience, and I feel like when people are sharing those kinds of stories, you know, get to help people out, because they're like, oh, you're going through this too? Oh my gosh, you did this? That's gonna help me out too. It's just listening and learning.
I totally agree. I've snapped very many times for holding in my anger, or, you know, not knowing how to understand, you know, not understanding my anger and stuff. But it's important to be able to express it positively. And right now we are listening to On Melancholy Hill by the Gorillaz again.
Hey, Gorillaz are doing big things.
That's right.
Just looking out on the day, feels another dream, where you can't get what you want, but you can get me. So listen as you see, 'cause you are my medicine when you're close to me, when you're close to me. If we're looking out on the day of another dream, if you can't get what you want, come with me. Up on Melancholy Hill, just looking out for the day when you're close to me, when you're close to me.
Okay, so also, people always tell me too, when you're like feeling down or in a bad situation, they're like, oh, why don't you carry some, I don't even know how to pronounce it, like crystal magic lighticidus in your pocket with you and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't know if I truly believe in the power of, like, holding a crystal on you, but I know Heather has, like, a lot of knowledge in that, and we've been getting, like, some people talking about that, but...
So I'm not gonna sit here and proclaim myself to be a crystal healer. There are people out there that use crystals and Reiki and different, there's a bunch of different, like, pseudoscience, I guess you could say.
Pseudoscience,
But I've definitely heard, like, oh, keep a healing crystal with you, and they have all the different type of crystals. One that I know I've looked into myself is amethyst. Amethyst is really good for, like, you're stressed, you're nervous. Some people meditate with crystals, and what you can do is basically just hold it in your hand and focus on it. And what they say is, although we know that materials are solid, like a solid, the cells in them are still vibrating. So that's why they say that crystals have energy, and, the healing energy of crystals, because the different crystals have different, compositions and different alignments of the atoms in the crystal. So I guess it just depends on how much belief you put in it too. But I have cleansed my crystals in moonlight, and like I'll focus on them when I'm meditating too, and I think it helps. But like I said, it just depends on how much belief you put into it. One of my birthstone, a form of it, opalite, is actually good for your third eye chakra, I've heard, which definitely opens you up to, like, enlightenment. So it just depends on how much you believe in it.
So it's like a focusing tactic type of thing.
It's a focusing tactic type of thing. Yeah, some people really will, like, go full out and, like, sleep with it under their pillow.
Yeah,
They'll keep it on their person. Also, like, putting it in their drinking water and stuff. And
what? Their drinking water? Like having a water bottle and just...
And having a crystal in there? Yeah. And also, like, perfumes. I've seen someone I follow on Instagram, an artist, they actually use crystals to cleanse, like, water, and then they'll sell it as, like, a mist and have, those positive vibrations
wow.
in the mist. So it just, like, once again, depends on how much you want to put into your belief into it, and it just works, I guess, how much you believe in it. So
where do you keep your crystals?
I'll keep them on a shelf because I just kind of like the aesthetic of crystals. I don't necessarily believe in their healing properties, however you want to put it, but I think it's really pretty, and like just the fact that it's nice to look at, kind of
makes you feel better.
Definitely aesthetic pleasure.
Okay, then I definitely see how it could be working like that, but I don't know. People have different beliefs on crystals.
Oh yeah, one of our followers on Instagram responded to our question, do you believe in the power of crystals? And this woman says, not when people of color are being exploited and mining for those corny ass crystal business, nothing but dead bad karma.
I agree with that too.
Wow, I'm blown away, dude. I mean, honestly, like, it's so true. We have our labor workers, people of color who will, go and find these crystals and mine for them, and for people kind of to just be like, oh, okay, whatever, like, people are working hard for you to be able to use the healing properties of crystals. So I think it's being mindful of the origin of where you buy your stuff, and being sustainable
living.
I agree.
I feel it. That's like, well, you see all these, like, white girl company type things, like, on
Urban
Instagram
Outfitters.
saying, like, oh, come to our crystal healing place, we're making necklaces with crystals, or whatever they may be doing at the time, and it's just, like, sometimes I see it as, like, a big old capitalist type deal.
People, if you haven't noticed, like, being witchy is a trend again, and like I said, people really do hold these beliefs close to them and really believe in them. So I feel like at the end of the day, you gotta respect people's beliefs and not kind of just, like, take it as a fad or appropriate it to what you want it to be.
Because it's trending and you see, like, it on Instagram and stuff.
Right, yeah, definitely. It's cool to have interest and to like different things, but to the point where if, like this woman on our Instagram said, if you're exploiting other people for this, then I think you need to pick something else that doesn't exploit people or hurt people.
Just like in a whole, crystals are really trendy right now, so people are definitely, like, using them in not the right way. But thank you again for joining us for episode 9 of SCREAMCAST podcast. We are going through a transitional phase. Like I said, we're still working on a new schedule with a new studio and a new setup. So right now, bear with us as we record from this remote location, top secret
spot.
But you can still find our podcast on YouTube and on our SoundCloud. So anytime you want to contact us, email, voicemail, DM, or text, you can call us at 323-413-YELL. And that's 323-413-9355. And thank you again for tuning in.
Thank you so much, guys. And also, if you ever want to send some music or any other stuff, you can definitely just hit us up on our Screamline profile. Or you can also email me directly, djhbomb@angelic.com. Thank you.
Yes. Have a good, safe night.
Bye-bye, everyone. Good night.
Play music.
This is Do Astral Plane by Flying Lettuce. Shouts out to our one viewer. Appreciate you.